This title is narrated with virtual voice, computer-generated narration for audiobooks. The Mess You Made, a Domestic Thriller, by J.M. Hollis. Chapter 1. The sun was already blistering by 9 a.m. Spencer Malloy wiped the back of his neck with his sleeve. The sweat soaked clean through his shirt hours ago. Dust stuck to his skin like grit on wet paint. Another 10-hour day, same as the last 100. The backhoe rattled to life beside him, belching smoke and noise as the operator, some kid fresh out of trade school, jerked the controls like he was playing a video game. Spencer gritted his teeth. He could do that job in his sleep. He used to run it, before the new foreman decided experience didn't matter. He bent over a concrete form, one hand on his lower back. It twinged again. Chronic, dull, always worse in the heat. Jenna told him to see a chiropractor, as if they could afford that. His phone buzzed in his pocket. He pulled it out and squinted at the screen. Jenna, you pay the electric bill? It says late. Again. He didn't answer. What was he supposed to say? No? Not yet? Maybe next week, if nothing else breaks? He stuffed the phone back in his pocket, grabbed the nail gun, and got back to work. He didn't bother with gloves. The skin on his hands was already calloused and rough, and he couldn't feel much anyway. He lined up the frame, fired off 4 nails, then stepped back, blinking sweat out of his eyes. A younger guy who went by Cruz, who was maybe 25 and full of piss, strolled by with a smirk. You good, old man? Spencer gave him a flat look. Still working, ain't I? Cruz laughed and kept walking, earbuds in, no respect in his posture. Spencer watched him for a second too long, then turned away. It wasn't just the heat, or the bills, or the marriage that felt more like a business partnership. It was all of it. The way everything piled up and pressed down until the days bled together. Until he didn't recognize his reflection when he shaved in the mirror. He used to have fire and pride in his work. Now he was just a pawn. Clocking in, going home, wash, rinse, and repeat, barely making enough to scrape by. Lunch came and went. He ate in his truck, engine running for the AC, chewing on a cold sandwich while staring out at the job site. He didn't join the guys at the shaded table. He didn't want the small talk, or to pretend he gave a damn about the Rangers or who got traded last week. His phone buzzed again. Bank alert. Checking account balance below $100. He sighed and leaned his head back against the seat, closed his eyes, thinking about his oldest kid screaming at Jenna last night and how he walked out the door and sat in the driveway for 40 minutes, just to avoid the noise. He thought about quitting, and then laughed out loud. Quit and do what? By 4:45, he was unloading scrap into the dumpster, his shirt soaked through and clinging to his back, boots caked in dried mud. His shoulder ached. His head pounded. The sun was still trying to kill him, and he still had to stop at the gas station on the way home. God forbid Jenna find the tank on E. The gas station pump clicked off at $40, but it barely lifted the needle past half. Spencer didn't bother getting a receipt and climbed back into the truck, rolled down the window, and lit a cigarette even though Jenna hated the smell. When he pulled into the driveway, the sun was dipping low behind the neighbor's oak tree. His house looked the same as it always did. Faded siding, weeds around the mailbox, the lawn needing edging. He sat there for a second before killing the engine. Inside, the air was cooler, scented faintly with onions and something sautéed. Jenna was in the kitchen, back to him, stirring something in a skillet. Her hair was pulled up, skin flushed from the stove. He dropped his keys in the bowl by the door. Hey. She glanced over her shoulder. Hey, you're late. Had to stop for gas. He leaned on the counter, watching her. Where are the kids? Out. Taylor went to Mia's. Zach said something about the skate park. I don't know. She didn't turn around. They'll be back for dinner. Okay. Silence stretched a little too long. How was your day? She asked finally, flipping something in the pan.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.